What's up, Star Gang? It's your boy Astra, and I am back with another video. And today we're gonna be doing a response video to My Name Is Death's Neo the World Ends With You is Trash. Now, I played Neo the World Ends With You on this channel. Hell, I even have my own save slot to where I beat the game and finished it. You know what I'm saying? But this is gonna be a response video to his video. He made multiple claims saying that the game was trash due to various reasons such as graphics, art style, gameplay. And you know, he doesn't really care for story, so I'm not going to count story as this. I'm not going to take a merit off of that. But I have watched multiple videos on his channels, and he does make like great points. Like, he makes very good points when he basically trashes a video game or says the game is going to be god awful or something like that. But with Neo, it's not my favorite game. Neo is not my favorite game whatsoever. Hell, I prefer the original over this one. But I still found it to have some fun aspects in this game. So it's a good game, it's just not my favorite. But if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe as we get into this video. I'm going to be trying to not sway him into liking the game, but I'm going to try my best to, you know, get him to see it in a different light. Without any further ado, let's get to his first point.
The graphics are truly god awful, okay? Now, the graphics, I really hate the graphics because here's the thing, man. This is an art style that would have been dope back on the Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation 2. Now, people been saying that, you know, okay, it's a game we've been waiting for like a decade now. Here's the thing, that doesn't excuse this god awful art style, okay? This art style, it makes my eyes want to bleed, and it's so god awful. Like I said, if you want to make a game with a unique art style, I recommend going the same route as Overwatch, Splatoon, games off the top of my head, Overwatch, Splatoon, and even the game that came out with you today, Samurai Warriors 5.
Alright, Death states that this game would look dope if it was on the PS2 or the Nintendo 64. However, I do feel like I disagree with that. I do disagree that I feel like this game, the art style that it goes for, is that Square Enix makes use of the Unity engine to the best of their abilities, and using their resources that they know from taking a 2D game and moving it into the 3D space is not really that easy. But Square Enix did try their hardest to make this game into the transition that it needs to be. So in terms of graphics, I think the graphics do fit the art style of the Neo the World Ends With You, and that's just how I feel.
Make an art style that's unique and dope. This shit is ugly as hell. Alright, look at this god awful art style. Look at it. And on top of that, what adds icing to the cake is your frame rate issues. Alright, look at this frame rate.
Yo, Sean,
just forget it.
This bad than
Bro, what is this frame rate?
Character designs and everything. Like, look at these god awful character designs. They are truly god awful.
Okay, for starters, I can't knock him on the frame rate part. I can't knock him on that, because I had problems with the frame rate when I was playing the game. You know what I'm saying? I had problems with it. But what I can disagree on is the character designs. Now, for character designs, bro, I might have to. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, because like the character designs, it makes the designs of the characters, while to you they may seem ugly, to another person they might seem like this. But to me being a commission artist, right? You know what I'm saying? I do banners and stuff like that. So with these characters, I've made unique thumbnails, which I'll display on screen. I've made unique thumbnails using said characters, and always found out a new way to push my limits as a graphic designer type beat. You know what I'm saying? I've used stuff from the game. I've used stuff that wasn't in the game. But for this, I would say the characters, they really do make Shibuya stand out, because it shows how diverse Shibuya is in this game. You have some people rocking this like urban hip hop style. You have some people rocking this 60s style. You have some people rocking this 80s style. Some people just wearing random clothes just to be wearing random clothes. It just shows that Shibuya is diverse in which its brands and like clothing lines that they have there. So this game, I feel like with the type of stuff that they have in it, like the clothing and all that stuff, how the characters are set up and the hairstyles and all this and that, it makes it unique, because not every character looks the same. Now you may say, well, the people who don't have faces, they just, now that part I can't answer that. To be honest, I can't answer you on that one. You got that one too, my G. But like, but for the character designs, I think that's I would like to disagree. That characters do feel vibrant and they bring out a certain aspect of Shibuya that you wouldn't normally see in other video games. But yeah, that's just how I feel.
When I say gameplay, I mean gameplay. Because like Persona 5, the reason I didn't like Persona 5 is because video game companies like Square Enix and the company that made Persona 5, can't think of their name off the top of my head, I don't know why they think that staring at dialogue all day is something fun. Because here's the thing, the whole time I was live streaming this game, I was just pushing Square X, because it's just non-stop dialogue. And the game is filled with such dialogue. You're walking past a restaurant and one of your friends, smell a meal, you get more dialogue. Dialogue upon dialogue upon dialogue.
Oh my god.
Shit. Is this something I
Oh,
need
so
to
is
know?
this game really finna do that? Is this game really finna do that, bruh?
Alright, so yeah, I understand exactly where he's coming from. This is actually in the very beginning of the game. So, to argue this, it's really hard to argue because most JRPGs do have excessive dialogue. Even the first World you had excessive dialogue like this, excuse me. But the way to get around this is that just you really can't. And I do feel like he does have a valid point here. For certain things you do wish you could skip, but sometimes like later on in the game, like this is just the beginning, but like later on in the game it does stop on all that extra dialogue for some time, and then sometimes the dialogue is actually needed because like it was one time where I was playing this game on stream, right? I was playing it on stream, and I think it was the mission where I had to solve this riddle. Ironic, it's RPG, you know what I'm saying? So I had to solve this riddle, but I didn't pay attention to what the characters were saying. So I had to go back and look through the dialogue and see what did I need to find or what was I missing. Actually, no, it was a riddle. So yeah, sometimes having that much dialogue, even though it's excessive, like it's just like it's not necessary. Sometimes it can be necessary for certain things, like if you're having to solve a riddle in some games, or if you need to go back to a certain location. Cause sometimes that's what I do sometimes in streams. Like I'm not gonna hold you. He got a valid point here. Not trying to like take up for this game in that aspect because it does have excessive dialogue, and it really didn't need all that. But yeah, I can understand where he's coming from at this point. So he got this point too.
The worst part. Another thing. Alright, cutscene dialogue. We covered that. Now let me go to the pointless ass task. Am I playing fucking Blue's Clues? Find the sketch, solve this riddle. Find the sketch, solve this riddle. Go talk to him to unlock this passageway. Go talk to him, go talk to her. Same thing with Persona 5, bruh. Same thing with Persona 5. Watching dialogue all day and, just going from here to talk to this person, going to there, talk to this person, going over here to talk to this person. That is not fun, my guy. That is not fun. See, I hate playing JRPGs like this. I hate when you have to go around and pick fights with enemies you don't have to just to get some excitement with the game. You feel me? That is truly annoying as shit. Go find this sketch artist, go find this sketch, go find this riddle, go find this painting. Alright, scan this, go here, scan this, solve this riddle, okay, recharge this person's memory and remind this person of their memory. When they implemented the memory shit, when I discovered that memory shit, I immediately cut the game off. Oh, he has the ability to, remind people, refresh people's memory. He has the ability to go inside people's minds and, remind them of shit. I don't give a damn.
Okay, ooh, this was a meaty one right here. Alright, to address the whole riddle shit, because okay, so to be fair, and this is from my perspective, I don't like doing riddles in JRPGs at all. So, like, I don't. But what I do respect about Neo is that they try their hardest to be unique at whichever riddle they do. One of them was a shape riddle, where it was like, okay, find the odd shape within the bunch. It was a triangle, rectangle, not rectangle, triangle, square, circle, like two. It was okay, so it was like a triangle, two squares, two circles, and what are like another shape. I think it was like an octagon or whatever. So it's like find the one that doesn't have like more than 3 sides or some shit like that. And so of course it would be the triangle. So it was unique. Okay. So another one was where you had to go to this one shop in this I think it was in Tipsy Tozy Hall, I think, and you had to take a picture with your friends there. Then you had to go up to the top. You had to get the information off of a billboard, get the shape off of a billboard, and then you had to go to a vending machine. You do all those, then you got to implement the number in order to find out the fashion style or such and such with one of the characters. I'll probably have the clip on screen. So with that was actually a unique puzzle. Now for me, I didn't mind the remind shit. Like, I didn't mind the remind shit. I didn't mind the dive in shit. What I did mind was the going back in time and backtracking. Now that did take away from the game, and I felt like that could have been implemented a different way. If we were backtracked, like if we would have had to go and go back in time, right? Go back in time. If we had to do that, I would have preferred we wouldn't stay in the past that long. Like for like, you do one thing that changes the overall thing, the arcing scheme, and go back to the present and finish the day off. Now the backtracking by going back in the past, that threw it off for me, and I did not like that. But I'm not, like, for me, it was just like, that was the only thing that threw me off. Like the puzzles and shit, like, yeah, they were annoying, but they were passable. Like, you could get past them, like, not taking that much time. Also during the weeks, you had like the what was it? The Slugfest or whatever. It was like the battle royale, the battle for the turf war. Now I love the turf war. The turf war was something unique they added into this game to break aside from all the riddles and stuff. You would go to each base and you would take the bases. So that's something I like. You would fight other people instead of just fighting the noise in the game. So that is one thing I did like. That is one thing I did like about the game. You're constantly, like, besides you fighting like all the fucking regular noise and shit, when they did the turf war, you're fighting not only the players, you're fighting noise while you're fighting players, and if you make it to the boss, like the leader of their gang or their group, you will fight the leader too. So that would be like, okay, so let me crank this up on hard difficulty. Let me get off normal and crank this up on hard because I know I want to gain some experience from this. They give you multiple times throughout the game to gain experience, and I feel like certain things in the game, such as like the pins and stuff, you really would get like different pins that would show off different abilities and stuff like that from doing certain things, get different achievements. And so I feel like that was rewarding to me. That's just in my opinion. That was rewarding to me. You see what I'm saying? But we'll go on to your next point.
The combat. But guess what? The combat is truly god awful. Now, let's get to the worst part of the gameplay. And I'm going to explain more on this when I get the final rating. The gameplay is the worst thing I've ever seen. Now, listen, everybody. When I say the worst, I'm not joking. I'm not holding anything back. This is the worst thing I have seen. Well, second worst. This is the second worst thing I've seen in gaming history. Alright? This is worse than Cyberpunk. Alright? This is worse than Hitman. This is worse than the games I've shitted on in the past. Games I've given a negative score. The gameplay to this game is worse than those games. Alright? Now, this game is in second place of the worst video game mechanics I've ever seen, right under Death Stranding. Death Stranding, you're just delivering packages. So that still remains at the worst. But this is the second worst. You have one button, one goddamn button to control each character. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in gaming. One button to control each character. Square to control the main character, circle, L2, R1 to control each goddamn character. And here's the thing, bro. Mashing buttons, no depth to the combat. Square, square, square. Circle, circle, circle. Square, square, square. Triangle, triangle, triangle. R1, 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 R1. L2, L2, L2. Square, square, square. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Like, just check this out, man. Like, look how brain dead. Look how brain dead this fucking combat system is.
Why do people have to commit a sin? Because they know that life can't win. I can go to heaven, live a full dream, or he'll Satan land. Every time I scream, we walk around like we don't care what's gonna happen when we run out of air. Heaven or hell.
Do you see that shit? Do you see that shit? It is so fucking brain dead. I don't.
Alright, for this one you almost had me with the point about like it looking like the game being brain dead with the combat system. Unfortunately, I do disagree. I think the gameplay is good how it is. Let me give you a little insight on why it's like that. This is just like my interpretation. Alright, so check it. So back in the day on the DS, right, you had The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You was a partner-based system where you have your partner on top, whether it be Beat, Joshua, or Shiki, and you only had Neku at the bottom. Neku had all access to his pins, while your partner had access to other means by using whatever partner. Like, let's say Shiki, for example. Shiki had a cat, a stuffed animal that she could use to fight with, and so as long as she was okay at the top, like she would have her own way of beating enemies rather than Neku. Neku was the only one who could use Sykes. So Neku would have all access to all his pins. So therefore he could have a heal pin, he could have a pin that could do like status damage, and he can have pins that attack, you know what I'm saying, or boost himself up, like boost his stats, right? So in this game, when they were transferring, they couldn't do it that same way, because in order to access pins in the DS version, you would have to tap the screen or use a button or use like blowing into unique ways, like yelling into your DS. Like there was actually a pin where you could like talk to your DS and it would actually, you know, like get like an animation out of it, you know what I'm saying? So they couldn't do that with this game, right? So what they did was they mapped it to different buttons. Some would say rapid tap, some would say tap, press, hold, you know, stuff like that. And it works because you're still getting the same benefits that it did in that game. The only difference is your whole team doesn't have the same health bar. Now, like I said, you almost had me with this point, and I wouldn't have came up with that idea if it were not for this one guy that I saw. And he agreed to help me out with this by letting me use his video to demonstrate what exactly I'm talking about. So I'm gonna let him, well, he's not really gonna talk, like I have his video that he allowed me to use, and I'm gonna show you on screen how he pulls off his build combos, getting the maximum amount of damage by boosting his stats by going to different shops, using the social network to getting different stat boosts, and even clothing to get stat boosts. And like I said, I'm just gonna show you how he did his, and I'm gonna go, like I have mine on the screen right now, but I'm gonna show you his because he does it a lot better than I do. But we're gonna be on to your next point after this.
And here's the thing, the game is so fucking stupid. Team HP? Why are we all sharing 1 HP? Like, this is Square Enix. Are you fucking retarded? What's the point in having multiple characters if you're all sharing 1 HP?
Alright, I think this is his last point, and it's the HP thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said prior, in the DS game, it was different. In the DS version, basically Shiki or whoever your partner was for that week, you would share a HP bar. Except it kind of worked different than it does in Neo. It does work different. So in the first game, it was like, okay, if Shiki takes damage, it'll go down on her top screen, because it was like a bar HP going up between the DS screen. If Shiki takes damage, it'll take damage on her screen. Neku wouldn't take the damage. But if Shiki kept taking damage, it would lower down to Neku's, and it would basically like converge, like, so they would have the same health bar. Initially, it wasn't. Initially, like when you first started, it's not like that. It'll be like, well, hers will go down on her screen, then it'll just gradually goes to Neku. So I feel like they did a good job of transferring that over. And like I said, there are certain items in the game that would let you regen health even while you're not doing anything, or while you're dealing damage, you'll regen a small amounts of health or large amounts of health. So it kind of evens each other out. In my perspective, it evens each other out, because you're still getting your heals. You can be away from enemies while your other teammates are fighting. You'll still be in range to heal them, so they won't die or you won't lose that much HP. Or you can have moves that grant you HP as you're hitting the enemy. So in my opinion, I think it gauges out. So I'll move on to your final overall review. So here you go.
So I give gameplay a negative 20 out of 10. It is truly god awful. Not covering story. Story's out. Now let's go to the overall game and let's wrap it up. So Neo the World Ends With You. Alright, like I said, the same thing I hated about Persona 5. But even though I hate Persona 5 with all my fucking heart, at least that game has beautiful, gorgeous, outstanding graphics and a good turn-based system. Now, I'm a fan of turn-based. You feel me? I love turn-based. Fairy Tail, Tilly Riser 2, stuff like that, and more. Can't think of a lot off the top of my head. But I love turn-based to death. So Persona 5 has my respect for being a turn-based. That's why I hated Persona 5 Strikers so much. Well, there's more reasons why I hate Strikers, but, you know, Persona 5 Strikers, I hate that fucking game. One of the main reasons I hate Persona 5 is the same reason, you know, I hate this game. Nobody wants to sit there. Well, I don't want to sit there, because this video is subjective, but people don't give a shit about that. I don't want to sit there and watch dialogue all day. I really, really don't. I'm so sick of people saying, well, you have to get glued into the story. Alright, here's the thing. Like I said earlier, if the dialogue is pointless, let me fucking skip it. Alright? That's the thing. It's like, bruh, it's truly god awful. And then I have to watch cutscenes, which is an automatic 0 out of 10. For the people that's been watching me for a while, you guys know how much I hate fucking cutscenes. Automatic 0 out of fucking 10. It is truly, truly god awful. I hate this game with a passion. It's like icing on top of icing on top of icing. This game is truly god awful. Nothing good about it. But I will give it this. The soundtrack is really dope. Every time I hop on this game, I want to turn my TV up because I'm like, bruh, this soundtrack. I just be fucking jamming to that soundtrack. But I will go on Amazon and I will purchase, you know, the soundtrack. If it's available on Amazon, maybe, I don't know, in a few weeks or a month or so. But anyway, other than that, Neo the World Ends With You. You are going down as the 5th worst game I ever played in my entire fucking life. Hate this game with a passion. Neo the World Ends With You. Final score. I'm gonna give Neo the World Ends With You, with the only positive thing about this game is soundtrack. I'm gonna give this game a 1 out of 10. Neo the World Ends With.
Alright, so that was the end of his video. Basically, he gave it like a -1. I mean, a 1 out of 10. And I'm okay with it because it's like he made valid points throughout his whole video. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to that man. That man just has a taste for gaming. He wants to have fun while he's playing video games, and I can respect his opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's some games that he likes that I've never played. I'll probably go try them out. You know what I'm saying? Because he play games that he feels like would enjoy him. He loves JRPGs and stuff like that. And so do I. Like, I love playing me a good JRPG. You know what I'm saying? And so this video was not to attack him whatsoever. Not at all. I actually messaged him about saying that I was going to, you know, do this video. And he said, he was understanding. He was like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'll give your video a check out. You know what I'm saying? So much love to that man right there. Mad respect to him. I tried to answer his points the best way I could. With the knowledge that I had. He did make in another video that the game is dead, and I can't refute that because, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is a story-based game. Not many people, it didn't do that good well in terms of pricing and sales. But do I still recommend it? I most certainly recommend it because it's still a good game. Soundtrack, gameplay, for me, hey, it is what it is. But like I said, marketing wise, they didn't market the game well, which kind of made it flop. So hey, it is what it is. But shouts out to Death. Y'all go subscribe to that man. And niggas in the Neo community, stop being fucking weird. Stop commenting under that man's video, bro. He legit say in the beginning of his video, bro, this is subjective. Stop leaving hateful comments bashing his fucking channel, bro. Like, that's fucking corny, my nigga. Stop this shit. But like I said, bro, follow that man, Death. You know, give him a subscribe. That man is brutally honest. He gonna tell you how he feel and not give a fuck about it. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? But until next time, guys, I've been YungAstraYT, and peace.